How do you see them?
Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, and welcome to the Owl Show on BKS1 Radio, everybody. It is your girl, Latoya Chanel, and I am here, of course, by the grace of God, with Miss Queen B. That's to you right there. And welcome, everybody, to our show tonight. We have an amazing show tonight with a great guest. So before we get into that, I want to ask Miss Queen B, with all those lovely ladies behind you, how are you today?
I am excellent. No real complaints. Happy to be on this side. And
you know you're getting old when you say that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I
feel like that.
I just want you to know, you old when you be like, I'm just happy to be in the land of the living.
You're right. You're right. One more time. Okay. I am. I'm super excited. I'm happy to be here still. And I'm looking forward to what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to summertime. Summertime.
Okay, I'm listening. What are you looking forward to within summertime? Like what is
Friday the world opens back up.
Right. Okay, so what is the stipulation on that? What did they say?
The masks are lifted.
Wait, masks are lifted indoors and outdoors?
Yes, indoors and outdoors. The real one and the fake ones, exposed. But no, seriously. The masks are, outside. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give you my, I don't know that I am actually going to take off the mask.
Wait a minute. So this Friday, you no longer have to wear a mask indoors or outdoors. That is what you're telling me.
All restrictions are lifted, Chanel.
And everything is going back to full capacity.
Yes.
Restaurants go back to full capacity.
Bars,
everything. So it's almost like, so as of this Friday, it is like nothing ever happened in 2020.
Restrictions are lifted.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. And I'm saying I don't know how I feel about that because even watching movies now, when I see crowds of people, I'm like, "Ooh, look at all them people!" And they don't
Me
even.
too. They
don't even have a mask on. Like
I was watching a show, and they had a party, and I was just like, "Oh my God!" Like,
look at all those people.
I was like, "Look at all them people." It's just So anyway, I'm actually pulling it up as we speak. But yes, so everything is lifted. Indoor sports are going to go back in. Everything's going to be, the outdoor and indoor capacity is lifted. Businesses, houses, worship, meaning go back to church. There's no more bedside Baptist. Indoor catering events, wedding receptions, proms. But it's sad because I think the proms are unable to go back because not that they're not able to go back, but nobody booked anything because there was so the proms are probably not going to happen anyway.
Yeah,
but so this is where we're at right now.
Go ahead, sis.
they increased the venues for 500 people.
Outdoor.
Outdoor.
Mm-hmm.
Outdoor, yes. Outdoor gatherings limited. Increases to 500. Indoor and outdoor capacity limits removed from businesses, houses of worship, yes. And all that good stuff.
I mean, I can admit, I did, while watching church last Sunday, I said, I do miss church and I do want to go back. But I don't know.
It does say capacity at large indoor events with a fixed seating capacity of 1,000 or more increases to 30%. So that means
30% of 1,000?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's more than half. Yeah. I'm just reading. But yes, that's what's going on.
Wait,
right now.
30% of 1,000?
Mm-hmm.
So not quite half.
So it's 70%.
Almost.
70.
No, it's only 30% of 1,000, right?
Right. So that's out of that's 700 people out of 1,000.
30% is 700? No.
Of 1,000. We're not about to do this on the show, best friend.
Wait, no. Okay, no.
Best friend.
No. 50% of 1,000 is 500.
Yes.
Okay.
So 700.
But it didn't say you can increase it to 70%. It said it's only 30%, I thought.
No, I think it's increased to, I get what you're saying. I'm sorry. So it says,
why are we doing this live? I'm the one that's bad at math.
No, it's not that bad at math. I think we're both interpreting it differently.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm thinking it's the 30% of 1,000.
Which would be not
700.
No, that's not 700. Somebody tell us, because we both bad right now.
I'm about to do the math.
Do it. All I know is 50% is 500.
So if 70%.
But you didn't say 70%. You said 30%.
Oh, 30%.
You said 30%.
So that would be less than 500. Yes.
Yes. Go. I'm bad.
No, because I'm sorry.
If 30% would be 300.
Right.
Yes. That's why I'm like,
yes.
Where are you getting 700 people from?
Oh my God. Because I'm thinking the opposite way around. I'm
like, I'm bad at math, sis, but I know that that's not right.
No, it's not that it's not right. Again, we were both,
You were thinking 1,000 people minus the 30% would leave you at 700 people indoors.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but if capacity is only at 30%, then that's 300 people that can be indoors. Yeah.
So
that's still a lot of people.
It's still a lot of people. My question to you is,
do I want to be indoors?
Yes.
I'm scared.
Conferences and things like that, fraternal orders, job trainings and all that, its limit is 250.
Oh. I'm a little scared. People in the chat were saying 300. We were getting some help.
Sorry, guys. I swear to you, I graduated on top. Anybody that knows me can tell, but I literally was thinking and interpreting something different. My bad.
We were getting some help in the chat.
I literally there. Thank you guys. Because I literally was thinking like, it's like 70% capacity. Like that's what I was thinking.
Mm-mm.
But it's really 30% the opposite way. I promise you. I did calculus.
I did not.
And I'm a nurse, so my bad.
I am not.
Shut up.
like I am not. I am terrible at anything.
But you got a degree. So
hey, I got a degree, but I'm terrible at anything math or science. So,
All right. So domestic travel. Now, do you think that they're going to mandate having the mask? I mean, not having a mask, having having them taken, they took away the mask. Do you think that they will mandate everyone to get a shot?
Eventually, yeah.
Vaccine.
Yes. Eventually, they're going. I feel like they are going to make it to the point where you're not going to be able to do anything if you don't
without it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
People going to be selling vaccine papers anyway. So.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be illegal paperwork.
Oh,
you know, like, you know, selling vaccine cards, making a copy of it. I'm sure somebody at Pfizer, Moderna stole some of them little cards, and all you got to do is write on it. I mean, that don't take much, you know, unless you're actually getting some sort of blood test or something. It don't take much to steal a card and write on it if that's your only proof.
You're right.
So that's coming
down. I'm a little, of course, as everyone is, I'm a little hesitant. Mm-hmm. I'm a little hesitant because, like I said, you know, it's like too soon. I'm sorry that the world is not open up. I mean, it's opening up and we're still not. There are still people dying from COVID pneumonia. Mm-hmm. I have a couple cases on my desk, mm-hmm. and I know a couple people that actually are recently passed away from COVID pneumonia. So I'm really praying that we still, although they've lifted the guidelines, that we still use our common sense. And it is just still be safe.
No.
Still just don't jump right into doing it.
They're jumping right in.
Jumping right in. Well, I'm gonna have my mask on.
I have no faith in humanity whatsoever.
Oh wow.
And there were people that didn't really care to wear masks or sanitize throughout this whole process when it was at the height in this country. So the fact that the government is saying you don't have to do anything anymore. Do you think people still are? I think you'll have a selected few. I think you'll have that 30% that are still going to be hesitant. But I think for the masses, people had stopped doing it anyway. There were so many people that in the last 2-3 months, you would see them walking around with absolutely nothing on anyway. So people had started doing it like everything was completely gone anyway. So the fact that now they don't have to, and restaurants can go back to the business of being at full capacity or whatever the case is, no, I have no faith in humanity. People are going to do exactly what they want to do. So will cases go back up after this? I mean, that honestly remains to be seen, because it is definitely it's definitely a possibility.
I won't be with them. I'm going to be cautious and careful. I still value my life and those around me. And we just can't go willy-nilly in my mother voice around, just doing as we please. I get it. Some people think that is safe. But just be mindful. That's what I say. And I pray that the world does fully open up when we do get back to normal. I don't think, in my opinion, that will ever be absolutely just truly normal. Mm-hmm. I know I'm still fearful. So I don't.
To be honest with you, I honestly feel, again, no faith in humanity. I honestly feel like we have the attention span of gnats. And I feel like by the beginning of next year, all of this precaution and fear will be completely gone. I mean, if we don't have another relapse and another spike, I feel like people are going to act like it never happened. And I say that because you had a shift in emotion, and you had kind of a shift in energy where people, even throughout the the case with George Floyd, you had people who, you definitely had the racists and those people that just preach hate and live hate. But you did have, in a way, even if it was just verbally, even if it was just talk, people that were cherishing family more, people that were cherishing relationship more, people that valued being good and honest human being with morals and values. It's almost like everybody was on that wave at the height, in the midst of the pandemic. And then all of a sudden, people got tired. We got some vaccinations that had just started, and crime went back up. And you started hearing, and this is even on a personal note, you started hearing about the arguments that started happening again. You started hearing about the discord that had started happening again within families and within friends and within communities, where these were the same people at one point in time talking about cherishing those around them, because you could lose them at any given time, or you can lose them at any given day. And then all of a sudden, it just seemed like within a matter of months that whole energy disappeared. So I feel like by the beginning of 2022, if we're all here, if we still make it, all of this, unfortunately, and the lessons that I believe it was supposed to teach, I feel like they will have been forgotten. If we don't have another spike, if we don't have another shutdown, I feel like,
or a different strain or something, I feel like all of that whole energy of togetherness and love and peace is going to be completely forgotten, and people will be back to whatever. So from a physical perspective, are you going to have those people that are still going to be out there? Again, maybe that 30%. Maybe that 30%, but for the masses, no. Yeah, they'll be right back. I have no faith in humanity at all. So can't say that I disagree. Anything going on that you want to talk about as far as
So today was the date of the death of George Floyd.
Yes, it was.
And I have been seeing a number of things on social media with people saying, it's not an anniversary. A man died today, a year ago. And whether you want to call it the anniversary of his death or not, I'm going to say that there was a catalyst that occurred last year at this particular time. And that was him being a sacrifice. Was
definitely a martyr,
right? Was the catalyst, I feel like, for racial injustice movement of our time. One that, in our particular age group, we had not particularly seen, and I feel like that has lasted for the last year, with going to trial, with him being convicted, Derek Chauvin being convicted. And so it was a major occurrence. It wasn't like, unfortunately, every other one of us that was slaughtered.
Yeah, definitely a different outcome.
It was a different outcome. It had a different vibe, a different feel, and a different energy. And that was exactly a year ago today. So I guess I want to ask you, how do you feel about that?
It's funny that everything you said is actually how I felt. He definitely was a catalyst for change. I think there are certain outcomes that we know that he sparked.
Yeah.
He sparked change.
Yeah.
When they have this statement of, my dad changed the world, he literally did.
Yeah.
He really did. I'm sad that a man had to die the way he did, such a senseless death, in order for us to gain attention and just, justice what looks like justice. I'm sad that we had to, go through that. But I will say, he did change the world, and I think everybody will remember George Floyd.
That you're going to remember the name.
The name George Floyd.
There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you're not going to remember the name, and there's no way you're not going to remember the case.
Mm-hmm.
If you lived in this time period and was old enough to understand what had happened that day and through the course of time, it will definitely always be remembered. And that's why I say I feel like it was a catalyst for the fight in racial injustice, or the fight in social justice.
Right.
That was definitely the catalyst for that. So,
yeah, we definitely honor that man on that day. And we also, shoot a prayer and
for all his family.
His family, daughter he left behind. And there's people that love them. That's the part. When you do this and it's some things that I'm just like, we really, you don't know what you do. And I always say this all the time. Any senseless killing, people do not know what they do to a legacy. When you have an uncovered daughter that was supposed to be protected by her father, and you you uncover her. And when you uncover her with killing her dad, and so her protector, and the person that was supposed to teach her certain things. I'm not going to say she's not going to be taught that, but the person that brought her here and God designed for him to do that, you took.
Yeah.
So I have an issue. I've always had an issue with that, whether it be from a senseless killing, from whomever, or a crime like this. Is still disheartening for that little girl to have to go through that, and a family to have to grieve this way.
Yeah.
I am glad that the family did get some sort of justice. There are so many people of color that did not receive the justice that the partial justice, I should say. I'm not even going to say full justice, but the partial justice, a band-aid or whatever you want to call it. On some of the cases, there are so many cases that we saw dating back from.
I mean, you can go back to slavery,
before we even were thought of, to our grandparents and grandparents and great and all of that. There are so many cases in which there was nothing. There's things we don't even know about. There's people that sat on death row that got. That were even killed for crimes that they didn't commit because of the color of their skin.
Of course.
And because of them being in the wrong place at the right time for them to be blamed for a crime they didn't commit. It's crazy because when I think about this too, there was a young man that actually they found the DNA of another convicted. I don't know if you heard about that recently.
I did.
Yeah, they found DNA which would have exonerated him. And the evidence was suppressed, but he actually was on death row and died and was killed until the end. He maintained his innocence, and honestly, he actually was innocent. So that part, those are the things that I'm like, I just don't. Emmett Till, all these years, she comes up with the. I don't want this to be released until after my death. And, the boy really had a lisp.
I mean, at the end of the day, most tragedies or stories for our people dying are based off of lies from
stories that are concocted
of another race. You know what I'm saying? Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oh, the guy got in the elevator and touched me. You know what I mean? And you burnt down Black Wall Street and a whole, like you say, a whole legacy because apparently a Black guy got into an elevator with a woman and touched her. Like, stop. Like you say, Emmett Till, the list goes on, and so many others that we know nothing about. So many Black men
that did not make,
that were lynched in the name of white women. So many black men that were, you understand what I'm saying? It's a girl vibe. Too many men to list. On a lighter note, though, somewhat lighter, just some in-house housekeeping. There was a picture that came up on social media a couple days ago of, I'm proud of my black people that, we're expanding, we're traveling, we're doing more, we're seeing more, we're becoming cultured, we're experiencing more, we're getting out of the neighborhoods. I'm very, very proud of our people for that. There was a group of black young ladies, about 6 to 7 of them, that were in the airport with bonnets on.
Oh, yes.
And there were so many varied opinions on these young ladies wearing bonnets in the airport. From how ghetto can you be, on one hand, to why don't everybody just mind their business because these girls is doing what they need to do? Why are you judging? So I want to know your thoughts and opinions on that.
You want my summation?
I just want your opinion on wearing a bonnet in public. Bonnets
are for the house. So we have too many other things to wear out to look a certain way.
Like when your hair is not done, you can.
When your hair is not done,
wear a hat. Now, would I take this hat off on this camera? Absolutely not. But what it looks like underneath is still nobody's business, but it's still not a bonnet. And I'm in my house. So I saw a post from someone that said, you black people kill me.
Oh.
You definitely can't travel to Africa because as soon as you get off the plane, you are going to see young ladies with head wraps on. So how dare you judge these black women for their bonnets when when your
right
old
there.
people listen. Okay, go ahead.
What you will not do is compare bonnets to when my beautiful black queens wear head wraps. I love the fact that Muslims are garbed. I'm Muslim, so I'm honored every time I put on a hijab. I'm honored. It changes my mood.
But why can't you compare the two, Queen Bee? I'm asking you. I know clearly because I wouldn't be caught dead with a bonnet in public. But I'm just saying, and if I do, y'all come get me. Somebody be like, what happened? Be like, I saw Toya in public with a bonnet. And they be like, oh God, no. What happened? Like somebody go get her. How the kids? Where's her family? Like somebody go get her. But what I'm saying is, why can't you compare the two?
They're not similar, Chanel.
Why?
It's ghetto to me. It's ghetto. And these sisters probably, listen, and ghetto is the state of mind. Okay? All I'm saying is these sisters is probably educated. I'm not knocking their education. I'm not knocking their degrees. I'm not knocking. It's just the standard that we should have when we go out. And I just think that for me, bonnets are made from the house, just as scarves that you wear when you, go to bed.
So for me, the difference is a religious and cultural tradition that has been here for predating us for hundreds of years versus something that is strictly made for going to sleep in. So there's a reason why we don't wear underwear out in public or outside of our clothes.
So just wear your nightgown, your night clothes.
Right. There is a reason for it. There is a time and there is a place for everything. And that is where decorum comes from. That is where standards come from.
So that's what I want to say. Like, what, right. You know, and that's the problem that I had. And this is just hold up. We are talking about bonnets, and I am, we are talking about our culture, right? And I don't want us wearing, but there are certain things that, I don't like them bedroom looking slippers outside that everybody, I don't like that. Now, do people wear them? Absolutely. Would I be caught dead in them? Absolutely not. I think that there are certain standards that I have. I just had this conversation the other day where I just feel like we've lost some of the beauty,
decorum
in a lot of things. When I think about, I told you, I'm always honored to say that I met and chilled with around Felicia Rashad. Mm-hmm. I actually had to transfer her to where, in an event. And when I think about women like that, I just think about the class that these women exhibit. I love when women go outside and they exhibit class. They're like, before I go out, let me do this or whatever.
That's missing nowadays.
We don't have it. Because we are able to,
And my thing is, if that's just what you do, because whatever, you just feel like I don't care, blah, 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 blah. What annoys me is the fight for what I believe is ignorance, right? What annoys me is, why are you all in their business? Why they can't do that? That part of the fight, that's the part that bothers me, because you ignorantly and arrogantly fight for no decorum. Ignorantly and arrogantly fight for no decorum. Everything is everything. Anything goes. You can do whatever you want to do. And again, morals, values, standards, decorum, what's the word I'm looking for? Body image. None of that means anything anymore. You got teenage girls, and this is not a fat shaming thing, because these are smaller girls and bigger girls. But teenage girls with shirts with stomachs hanging out the bottom. You got teenage girls with, and I'm sitting there looking like, these girls have no body, anything. It's just like, why do you think that's okay? And then God forbid someone says anything to them, because if you say anything to them, it's you're not a safe space, and you are oppressing the next generation, and it wasn't cultural for you, but it's a culture that can start now with the next generation. And the fact of the matter is it's just tacky. It's just tacky. It's jarring. So when you see a bonnet in public, especially in an airport, it's jarring. Your eye immediately goes to bonnet. Immediately go the same way your eye would immediately go to a woman wearing a bra and nothing else. The same way your eye would immediately go to a man walking through an airport with Speedos on and a tank top and some sneakers.
I just want us to go back to the basics when we cared about everything we wear. I am not, and let me tell you something. I say this all the time to everybody. I am not a small girl, right? I have standards with what I wear. I can't wear everything. It's not meant for me.
Everything ain't meant for everybody, and I don't care what size you are.
So I'm just saying my standard of everything's not meant for me. Everything is not meant to look right on Basima. My point to you, Chanel, is that it's just standard. Can we get back to that?
No, we don't. We don't have that no more either. We don't have that no more either.
Like you said, it's certain things that, yes, I shake my head and there are certain things that I'm just like, no. And I don't think it's about the girls. I don't care what the girls doing. I don't care if they're traveling. I just don't see. We are already looked at, and let's just be real. People have labeled us animals.
And everybody, and the fact of the matter is, if you and I were in the airport the same time as them, we are we're judged anyway. Mm-hmm. We're judged anyway. But unfortunately, when you are African American, and this may be a controversial statement, but wherever you go, you are the face of the race.
Absolutely.
You are a representative, whether you want to be or not. I don't care what it is you're doing. I don't care where it is you're going. You are the face of the race. And that's a heavy burden for a lot of us to carry, but it is what it is. Because no matter where you go and no matter what happens, if you do something or you're whatever it is that somebody don't like, right, wrong, or indifferent, it'll be that's what they all do. Or that's why I feel like this, or that's why I don't do this. And that's just what it is. That's sad.
So but can I ask you, are there other races in bonnets out?
Does anybody else wear pajamas in public besides us? Is that what you asked?
Just the bonnet part.
Oh, just the bonnet? Oh. Well, no, nobody else needs head covering. But the fact of the matter is that you wear a bonnet to protect your hair while you're sleeping so that you can go out in public with your hair done. Because no one was saying that their hair wasn't done underneath, because I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
Hence the reason why you got it on.
But don't you wear it so that, whatever. In the meantime, we'll have another show on that. We'll definitely come back.
I do want to delve into certain topics about us, the myths, the myths, and also the things that a lot of us are not in agreement, but they're calling it Black woman culture. That I'm not a part of some of these things.
Black woman culture. Give me a snippet. Besides that bonnet in the airport BS.
It's all of it, Chanel. It's all of that type of
foolery.
Yes.
Foolery is what it is. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. We're definitely.
I just don't want to be put in that box.
That category right there.
That's not what I do.
In the meantime, however, we have a guest who will be in the virtual studio with us today in just a few seconds. So our next guest has been on the show before. She was actually in studio when we were still in studio. Yes, we will be going back. But she was in studio and she wowed us the entire time that she was there. Yes. Her voice is magnificent. And I was reminded of that when she was actually recently on my other job's show and she was singing live. And it brought me back to the time period of me playing her CD in my car while driving to work in the morning. So everybody, please help give us a virtual round of applause to Miss Gail Campbell. Miss Campbell, are you here? Like, yay!
There she goes.
There she is.
Hey!
Look at you!
y'all!
You look so good.
Beautiful.
Thank
yes.
you. I tried to clean up for y'all.
You look so good. The lighting, oh my God. You
Yeah.
got a whole
I do the best I can.
Issa Rae black people lighting going on there. I love it.
Yes.
Yes.
Love it. I love it. I love it. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, we still here.
Yes. God be praised. Yes.
We still here after what 2020 brought to us. We are still here, and
yes, we are.
You know, knowing we are on borrowed time, we are celebrating, and one of the ways we celebrating is by having you. And I called you this afternoon the voice, having your voice.
I smiled when I read that.
Yes, your voice blessing us. Yes. So let's you know what? Let's get right into it.
Okay.
Your music, your singing. I just mentioned that literally. I remember playing your CD after you were in the studio with us last time, playing your CD over and over and over again. And that song, You Don't Know Love, girl. I mean, you should have heard me. Now, I am not a singer unless I'm in the shower. Then I feel like God blesses me only when I'm in the shower. But in the car driving to work, and for me, it's screaming because I can't sing, but screaming the lyrics to that song over and over and over again. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I think it is a special song. I definitely remember kind of it flowing out of me when I wrote it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it was my true feelings. It was flowing out. Yep.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Loved it. So tell us. So what's flowing right now? What's swirling around? Do we have any new music coming? What's happening?
Yes. Ipkiss and I are in the studio, and we are about 6 songs in to the new album. It's not a Bloody Waters Part 2.
Okay.
Everybody was kind of like, what is she going to say now? What is it going to... It's not a Bloody Waters Part 2 because I'm just not in that headspace anymore. God be praised. But it really is... it's different. It's just as creative. We're just doing some new things, and that's why I love Ip so much in his music, because you know, there are no boundaries with the creativity. So I think y'all gonna love it. I think y'all gonna love it when you hear it.
Since the show, we've gotten married.
Yes.
We've gotten married. So yes, clap.
Thank you.
So because I remember when we talked a lot about relationships, and we talked a lot about the headspace you were in before, and we shared on that show. I feel like we kind of let our hearts out then. Tell me about the space you in. I mean, tell us about the marriage, and tell us,
It's well, my husband is Traps the Savior, and the rapper, and he always been like my brother, and just been always very supportive of me. It's funny because he's on Bloody Waters encouraging me to leave that bad situation.
Yes. Oh my God.
And it was real. It was authentic. People think because we got married, yeah, they must have been messing around the whole time. Nothing could be further from the truth. Like, we absolutely never looked at each other that way. And we just really had a dope friendship. And because I went through like the worst experience of my life that ended up teaching me so much, I decided that I really just needed to chill and pull back from the whole relationship thing, and kind of just explore, the things within me, because at the time I wasn't ready to see my part in what I went through. But as time went on and as the healing process continued, I began to see my part in it. I began to see my self-esteem issues. I began to see, why was I so afraid, and why I made an idol out of that man, and how it almost destroyed me. I began to look at all those things, and it was a hard pill to swallow. But I knew that at that point, I just had to pull back and just let it be me and God, and just fall in love with God. And I did want that male energy around me, and God said, you have all your brothers around you. You have Ipkish, you have Chops, you have Al Jacobs from Black World Films. You have all of this male energy. They love you. So you have that. So I just threw myself into my work. I threw myself into my walk with God. I surrounded myself with love. And, me and Chops, we was just doing what we do. I called him and said, what you doing? Come by. Let's watch movies. That's what we used to do. Let's watch some movies. Let's have some margaritas. And he came by, and as we were Netflix and chilling, really Netflix and chilling though. As we were doing that, God just really spoke to my spirit and said, this is him. And I was just like, what? And he began to question me. Who do you feel, what other man in your life do you feel as comfortable with, as safe with?
That's important.
Who's your friend? Who do you feel safe with? And I said, really no one but my blood brothers. I said, because this is him. And there was no attraction or anything, but because I was obedient and said, okay, God, I trust you. In that obedience, God opened my eyes, and then I began to see him as a man.
And
God opened his eyes, and he began to see me as a woman. And
talk about it.
I began to see him in a way I never saw him. I began to see some sexy stuff. He began to see it in me. He was like, I never looked at you like that. I never knew that this is who you are. So in our obedience, God gave us that romantic component and everything, because we already had the foundation. We already had the friendship. So that's how it happened.
Girl.
And 2 months later, we was married.
2 months later.
2 months.
Let me ask you. First of all of what you said is loaded. I have so many questions, from the insecurity part to the safety part to I have so many ways I want to go, and I'll probably come back to it in my questions because it's swirling around in my head right now. But I want to know, how does that relate to your music? And I want to ask you, because you hear so many people that will say, when it comes to Mary J. Blige, well, we don't like her.
I was thinking that
when she's in a relationship, but when she's not in a relationship, then her music is better, or her music is powerful. I want to know, what are your thoughts on that? Now, granted, I don't like the fact that people play on the downfall and
whatever you're going through
to others for their entertainment. But I want to know, what are your thoughts on that?
I did think of that. I do remember Mary saying that, people like her music when she's a mess. I remember that. And I did think of that. And but I know that fear is not of God. So I said, God, you were the executive producer of Bloody Waters, and you're going to be the executive producer of this album. I don't know what's going to come out of me. There is a lot of learning that Chops and I are doing now. It's not all butterflies and rainbows. Because even though we have that foundation, we know we're solid with it. But now we're getting to know each other in a different way while we're married.
You have to do the work. Yeah.
Those are the things that are coming out of me. And it's still relatable. I don't know if y'all heard the new song that's going to be on the album that we actually did put out. That's called Let My People Go. I did the pandemic pop up in front of City Hall.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that.
So the lyrics to that, and people want me to talk about my relationship. I'm not intentionally doing that. But what I feel like I'm doing a little bit in this album, was so far in this album, is I'm talking about what I've learned. I'm talking about what I've learned about myself. The album is not about Chops. The album is not about, it's about my lessons.
Yeah.
So, like in the new song, to Let My People Go, I'm saying, the man you say you love so dear, you better make sure that he love you and won't disappear. Too many times you gripped your heart with fear. I had to say, let my people. Ooh, child, I know about it. That hot obsession had you playing the fool. You're gonna mess around and find that you done lost all your cool. Get it together, girl. Make it soon. So it's like, these are the things that are coming out of me. So all of the feedback that we've gotten thus far on the songs that we've been working on has been positive.
Yeah.
But somehow it's not a sad album. It's a confident album. It's not a song. It's not an album thus far about love. It's about Gail. It's about who Gail is. It's not about Chops at all. Because the main thing that came out of that experience is me.
Yeah. Well,
the goal wasn't to be married and find love. That was just a byproduct of me finding me.
Of the work.
Right.
Of the work.
Right. So this album is about me. It's about the gal that I'm getting to know.
Right.
You just preached a whole sermon in 15 minutes.
You did.
Like you just, from beginning to right now, you have just preached a whole sermon.
It's funny you say that because, like you said, I just go back to the point where you said it is relatable. And although hurt is relatable to a lot of people, yes, we've gone through that. The intention of us is not to stay there. You know what I mean? Is not to stay there. It is to evolve from all of that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going back to also, Chanel, you saying that Mary gives us, people deeming Mary giving us albums when she is hurt. And the same thing with you, Gail. You gave us Bloody Waters. And let me tell you, from beginning to end, that album was awesome. I think I inboxed you and I told you I literally was on the train and people were talking about that album. And I literally was like, it was funny because I was just in earshot and people were like, yo, it's amazing. I'm talking about, I'm riding on the train.
Woo!
You know what I mean? And I was just like, and they was
that
like,
blew me away.
Yeah, people was like, did you get it? And I was like cracking up to myself, like, I got it. You know what I mean? But I say that to say, it's just, we don't want to stay in the pain. We're supposed to heal from it. And we're supposed to evolve from it. And we're supposed to come up and then we're supposed to be our better selves because of it. You know what I mean? When the healing process does take place. So the space you're in now, I'm eager to see. I'm eager to see because I don't want you in the same exact space a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later in the same exact space.
You look growth.
It's a growth, and you look happy, and with that comes different music.
Right. So now it's almost like now I can be the artist I am without dragging the load of my emotions.
Yes.
So it's almost like now y'all gonna really hear me.
Yeah.
Because the subject matter was the heaviest thing I think on Bloody Waters.
Yeah.
And so now it's just a different aspect of me. And that's why, you know, it was Bloody Waters was a season in my life. This is a new season, and it's a new day. And that's why I was ready to file Bloody Waters away. And that's why I ended it with Victory.
Yep.
Yes.
The song Victory is how I ended it. Because I was ready to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And there is like sometimes I do have to go back. I don't like it, but sometimes I go back just because the work is ongoing. The work is ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how I keep my hands in God's hand. You know what I mean? Because I can't even come up here and say, you know, all of that is gone. No, it's that sometimes I still feel the shame of that season.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
There's residue left sometimes.
Right. But I know that I'm healed, and I won't let the enemy tell me I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the things that keep me holding on to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not looking back and not going back to the same behaviors. Truly learning from what I've been through. You know,
it's funny. We were having this conversation a few months ago because, you know, B and I literally talk most of the day while we're working. And we were having this conversation a few months back that growth and healing is always a continuous process.
Right.
There is never a full and complete moment of arrival. Mm-hmm. There is always little steps at a time, and there's always going to be more to do. Now, the difference is when you get to a different space, you can look back to where God has brought you from.
Right.
But while you are in it, there is never a moment of arrival. Like, oop, I've arrived, so I don't do this. I don't deal with this. No. It's always a constant work in progress. You just worry about some things less as you evolve.
Yes.
But it's always a work in progress. You'll always be working, you'll always be growing, and you'll always be healing. So like everything that you have said, literally since you have opened your mouth on this show, I have sat here with the stank face, like I was in church and the pastor was saying something, and I'm just like, yes, agree. I wanted to say amen at one point in time, and I said, you know what?
But ironically,
Radio
guys,
show.
I don't know if you really remember this. All three of us, the last
we're in
time,
that same space.
We're in the same space.
We're in that same space.
I'm in a new relationship. You're in a new relationship in marriage, and she is too. So
wow.
When I tell you, it's just funny where your album for me was like, I am the person that, like, when I get something in my soul, I listen to it over and over and over.
Screamed it.
So I just think it's funny that when you did bring that out, we were all literally in the same exact space. Like the same exact space. Breakup, us trying to figure life out again.
Not only, I'm gonna just be extremely transparent. Not even break up and trying to figure out life again, but the fixation on that individual. And
losing yourself.
Constantly trying to alter yourself
Oh
for
my
that
God.
for that other person.
Yes.
So like that's why I said I'm gonna just be real transparent, like literally in that space, and then trying to figure out why it's not working. I'm changing. I'm doing.
And you keep adjusting everything you do, and like everything you are. You know what I mean?
And that's funny because, like you said, you know, we continue to think about the situation not in a way of bondage, but in a way of constantly understanding as revelation continue to go unfold. So I was in my car, I was driving home yesterday, and I was thinking, one sure way that you would think that you are crazy, that you are no good, and that something is wrong with you, is if we've all heard that saying, like a fish and a bird fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
When a fish and a bird fall in love, that bird will be looking like, what's wrong with me? I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that was me. I was thinking about this, and I was like, I'm an artist, and I'm a different kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a different kind of person to love and be with an artist.
That is say it again.
It takes a different kind of person to love and be with an artist. And
can we do tithes and offering right now? I know, right? We find my money to put in the bucket.
It's true.
It's true. And because I didn't get that, and because I was so in love, and because that man had become such an idol in my life, all it did was chip away at me that I couldn't be what he thought I should be. And then once I got out of it and I started to understand, I began to say, look, okay, maybe, all right, he did have some narcissistic stuff, but there's somebody for him.
Yes.
And there's somebody like, okay, maybe you're not a monster. Like you was wrong to me, but maybe you're not a monster, and maybe I'm not a failure in you know what I mean? Like,
do we got the MLK church fans? Somebody give me one. Somebody give me something.
Yeah, it's just we were not for each other. And when you try to force a square peg in a hole, you'll end up thinking, what's wrong with me?
From that narcissistic place.
Right. And now, since I'm married now, that's one of the things that I did not want. My husband and I are alike in a lot of ways, but we're also very different. We have different kind of backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't, because I've been there, I don't want to try with him. If I can't love him for who he is, no matter what about those things that get on my nerves, if I can't love him for who he is, I don't need to be with him. Because nobody wants to be with somebody who's trying to constantly change you and tell you that something is wrong with you. I've been there.
I've been there.
And I did it with my first marriage.
Jeez. Can we?
I tried to change them. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? All that does is crush a person's self-esteem
and spirit and everything.
And a lot of times for men,
somebody passing the plate. You know how you be looking around like, did it get? Oh.
These are things that that's been coming to me over the past 3 years as I've been trying to understand what in the hell was that I just been through.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I was riddled with so much shame because I'm not supposed to be going through that. Like I was so ashamed of myself. So understanding was something I just felt like I needed to do. Like, and it has come in little bits and pieces over time.
Yeah. What? Let me ask you a question, and just for everybody listening, I want you, because there is somebody listening that feels stuck. in a relationship,
Ooh.
whether it be during or after. Because there are some times when we
stuck and you ain't even with the person.
Right. There are some times when we are outside of the relationship, but we are still stuck with, because of it, because of the esteem that we lost while in it, because of finances. Maybe that person took care of them or, whatever. What would you tell the people that literally just have gone through what you've been through and are currently repairing right now, and just, what would you tell, females out here?
What I would say is what I did was I did not jump into another relationship. I did jump into another relationship. Say that was a trial and error too. I jumped into something and was in that for a couple of months before I realized, what in the hell, Gail? So once I got that, I said no more. So do not try to jump to look for your self-worth in another person. You just have to let it burn.
Okay.
I surrounded myself again. I threw myself into my work. Sometimes the things just take time. I threw myself into my work. I surrounded myself with people who did think I was great. People who did encourage me. People who didn't rip down and criticize everything I did. That's the last thing you need when you're going through something like that.
Absolutely.
Secondly, no matter how many times I would check the Instagram, no matter how many times I would do all of this, one thing I kept doing is I kept praying, I kept fasting, I kept worshiping, I kept doing what I know I needed to do, even though these things did not immediately change, but over time it does.
Yeah.
It's like what my girlfriend used to call it. It's like trusting the process.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like you're not, like, why do I keep on doing this? Why I keep checking this Instagram? Why do I keep on doing this? I hate that I'm doing this. But you know what? Forgive yourself and keep moving on. And it'll get less and less and less and less. You'll continue to learn and keep. One day, we know this to be true. It just doesn't happen quick enough for us.
Right.
But one day you will look back and you will say, thank God. And even sometimes you realize, thank God that person had to walk away from me, or that I had to leave that relationship. You know that, but then sometimes you'll still kind of that muscle memory and all of that other residue.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, it's an ongoing thing, like sobriety.
Right.
It is. Healing and growth is.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's never ending.
You just keep on doing what you know to do. You just keep on feeding yourself those things, and you'll get stronger and stronger.
I'm glad you mentioned, though, with you being a singer, with you being an artist, I'm glad you mentioned how relationships and heartache and going through that process can affect your art. And you realize that what you needed was someone that appreciates your art, appreciates your art, appreciates the headspace you need to be in for your creativity.
Yes.
Because a lot of times you see the memes all the time where they'll say a woman who is loved properly can be 100% of herself, as opposed to going through a bunch of different things and still trying to be this creative and still trying to be this boss and still trying to, and how much that weighs on you. But being with someone that recognizes I can't be 100% of myself if I'm in a relationship with you, and either A, you're mistreating me, or B, you're not recognizing what you need to do for you and what I need to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's important. And again, from your first album, Bloody Waters, like you said, we heard the pain. And even with the last song being Victory, we still heard the pain throughout the entire CD. We heard the journey throughout the entire CD. And so I am hella interested in hearing what you guys are coming up with and what's to come on the next album. Because again, like you said, the fact that you can now focus on your art because you're not focused on the pain, it gives you a new angle, it gives you a new feel, and it gives you a different energy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm highly anticipating what's coming next from you.
Yeah.
I literally, when I saw you with my other job, I had literally worn my Bloody Waters t-shirt the day before.
I still got mine too.
You literally wore it the day before, and then I was, working my other job, and I was like, "What's that kid doing?" I'm literally. So I was so excited to see you that day, but I can't.
I was so happy to see you too.
Yes,
I was so shocked.
Yeah, but look, that's the 9 to 5. So,
yeah,
but
it's so funny. It's just so funny that a lot of people will say, and you definitely have this, Gail, but a lot of people will say, I don't know, this relationship, you have a glow. And what I do know is that when you're loved differently, you tend to do that. Like you said, being an artist, if you're unfocused on your artistry, and someone won't allow you just to be free, because that is artists have to be free. They have to be free in their mind. You wear a lot of hats, Gail. I remember, first of all, just for the people in the back that don't know, I met you you made my my training. Literally, I saw it on Instagram and was like, I gotta have one. And I did it, and did not know until we were backstage somewhere that you were who made my training.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember. And I was just like, and I remember, let me tell you what I do remember. You probably won't, but I remember I said, Gail, you were like, I want to come on your show, this and the other. And I was like, well, what do you do? And I remember you saying almost like everything. What do you mean? You know what I mean? And because we both Aries, like that's just us in general.
Yeah.
You were like, you can't put us in a box. Like we do everything.
Yeah.
But I just thought it to be funny. I never forgot that, because you had such a bubbly personality. And I'm like, well, what do you do? Like, I almost like I got my hands in everything.
It's
just put me on the show. And when we did,
I
was amazed. I was amazed. I was like, she does everything. Like,
I still do. And like I teach I teach 8th grade, and then I have this after school program that I teach, and I get a break in between. My after school program is 2 sessions. So I get 15 minutes in between my class. I'm literally in the bathroom trying to do my makeup, saying, I gotta get ready for a show. But that's like what I do. That's like my life all the time. So yeah, but yeah. And that's,
so what did you channel for this particular album? I know you said you're only six songs in, but what kind of, I know now you're happy, you're on a different plane and a different path. What did you channel for the 6 songs that you created thus far?
I don't know. The same way I didn't know with Bloody Waters.
Okay.
I did not come up with what it became. I didn't sit down and think about, this is going to be all about my life and what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
That was not my plan. And it took me a year to do Bloody Waters. So that journey you hear is literally my feelings over the course of a whole year.
Mm.
So, and every song on Bloody Waters is in the order it was recorded. That's why it's so cohesive. So for this album, I didn't want to think too much about it. The success of Bloody Waters was really just amazing, and it does make you feel like, oh God, I gotta do it again. Oh, people are one. But I tried to put all of that out of my head. Ip and I put it all out of our heads and say, listen, we didn't go into the studio with Bloody Waters with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
We let the music tell us what it wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it just became what it became. So I don't have any concept. I'm not channeling anything.
Okay.
I just go into the studio. I listen to the beat. I pray and ask God to write the song for me. I put my pen on the paper and I start moving my hand, and it becomes what it's going to become.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, these 6 songs, I have a song about, comparing where I was before to who I am now, and just saying now I can sing. So I have a song called I Can Sing.
All right, man.
I have a song called What Love Is, because that's kind of me telling my husband, listen, brother, if you've been wondering what love is, you gonna learn today. It ain't all pretty. Listen, bruh, listen, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a song where I was feeling that, so that's what came out. A song where I just wanted to tell young girls, like, listen, be careful with this relationship thing and jumping into love thing. I got a song called I Do This For My Life, just talking about how I feel about music and how I feel about art. And, this is who I am. I do this for my life.
Okay.
And I don't know. I have not sat down and listened. Ipkiss listens to our music all the time. I've not sat down and listened to see what it's growing into.
Yeah, to be.
I just focus on what the task is at hand.
Absolutely.
And I'll listen to it all later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right.
So I think I can kind of say that it's really just about the person that I've grown to be and what I've learned about myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to give us a snippet of something.
Yes.
Listen, we want to hear your voice, a cappella. We just want to hear your voice. We're gonna put you on the spot here.
Okay.
Anything that comes to mind. We just need to hear your voice.
Oh God. Okay.
Give you a few. You want to give us a few minutes, or you want us to give you a few minutes to think about it?
Yes.
That's fine. Listen, that's fine. You think about it, and we'll come back to it. But in the meantime, though, like I said, I am extremely interested because every single thing that you have said, from you can tell that you have been on a journey. You can tell that you have had nothing but growth and lessons in this time period from the last time we saw you until this time. And I want to tell you, like Queen B said about your glow, the energy, it just feels good coming from you.
Yes.
I personally love when I can have conversations with people and I can just sit back with again, like with the stank face and just go, I love meeting people.
That's why I was so excited to come on this show, because I know that there's nothing shallow or empty about when the three of us get together talking. So I was like, y'all need to make sure. I was telling my followers, y'all need to tune in because we get serious. We get into it. So so that's what I love about coming on here.
Yeah.
Because we really get into some stuff that I don't always get a chance to talk about. People don't ask me about a lot.
I just think that I love your transparency. And I think that, I mean, in a world that we live in now, we really need that, and I never understood that. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a daughter and I know that I was raised, I don't know how you guys, but I know that I was raised like, you don't let her see your weaknesses, and you don't let her, see whatever. And what I'm learning is, wait a minute. I've got to show her some things I'm going through. I've got to, there are some things I regret in that I should have shared with her, you know what I mean, earlier. Now, when they get older.
She didn't see how you triumphed
either. Right. So it's almost like, it's like she didn't see me cry, and she didn't see me do all of these things. And now that she's 19, it's like she's looking at me and I'm looking at her, and it's like, I can't just tell her. I should have walked her through some of the things that I've gone through. And that's the mistake I made. And I love you, Gail, because it's almost like your life, you in Bloody, you just put it on display. But we could relate to every part of some young girl could be like, look, I lost myself, and listen to Bloody Waters and be like, but I'm going to find myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen and be like, this is a painful experience for me, but I'm going to come out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just ironic that sometimes people, Black women just in general, need to see why, Gail, did they tell us not
allowed to be vulnerable. We're not allowed to be pink. We're not allowed to be weak. We are to be strong. The only time we are celebrated is when they are celebrating how much of pain and abuse we gone through. Let's clap it up because she's been through so much and she's still here. I married her because I took her through everything and she stayed with me.
You better say it.
So those are the things that I'm so tired of. My brothers just walked in here, my husband and my brother, about that strong Black woman. Because we can be strong. I saw this post and it drives me crazy. And I know that he was, she just keep it moving. And everybody, that's right, brother. Talk that. I said, we do. I said, we do. I said, bruh, I'm sorry. And I was the only lone voice in all of that sea of women who was like right on. I said, we do get weak. I said, we do break. I said, we do break down, go in the bathroom, break down, cry, lay down. Mm-hmm. I said, but y'all just don't know because we keep everything inside. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not supposed to want help. Mm-hmm. We're not supposed to need support. Mm-hmm. We're not supposed to ask for help with our kids, with the man who we had them with. We're not supposed. Listen, what the hell y'all want from us?
Yeah.
And
that's the part, though. That's the part.
And so I wanted to say, listen, I cry. Mm-hmm. I lost myself. Mm-hmm. I got broken. Mm-hmm. It took me years. And I'm like, it's okay. We walk around trying to hide everything. And you know who are the biggest propagators of that nonsense? Other Black women.
Yep.
Other Black, we're the biggest ones spreading that.
Yep.
We call each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because she's going through. Because she's
that's
going
the part.
Through.
And I hate. I can't stand it. I'm to the point where I'm just like all the. It's almost like a myth. All the things that they taught us. All the things. Don't go to counseling. You know what I mean? You're going to appear crazy. No, I'm crazy because I'm not in counseling. How about that?
Right.
Just the thing, you put me through all this stuff, and I am proving to you that I'm loyal to you, and I'm this to you, and I'm that to you, and we're celebrated then, but you damn near broke us.
Yeah, you're not supposed. You don't need no sleep, sis.
Or me,
you don't need no sleep. Keep going. So no. So I
just want to get back to that. Yeah. I want to get back to us, Gail, literally telling women to cry, feel, be vulnerable. Don't
and it's okay.
Right. Right, but you are though.
Break down and still be a strong person.
Those tears do not define you. Those tears are for the moment, and those tears are to cleanse you.
Right.
But they don't define who you are as a person. And as sooner we learn that, the better off we will be. You better go somewhere and cry it out before you go over your head losing your mind. You better do that.
Right.
So, listen, your transparency is
always
everything, and it's something that we also pride ourselves here on the show as well. And so I thank you for that today. I thank you for your music today. I thank you for putting it into your art today. I thank you for your creativity today. As I said before, I am looking forward to what you have coming up next.
When the album drops, y'all gotta have me back.
Yes, you will.
Yeah. Why you gotta look at me like that? You just looked at me like
it's like, really? You gotta ask?
and by then we'll be back in studio. So we'll set up a microphone, have you come in, have you sing everything. So listen.
So do you have any upcoming things, like, any upcoming shows or anything?
What do I have? We're still doing the pandemic pop-ups.
Okay.
We're still trying to work out the Brooklyn Bridge. We're gonna pop up on the Brooklyn Bridge. I think I have some other stuff. I can't think of it. Oh, Iron Throne Radio. I have something in September. Since things are starting to open up again, I'm going to be popping up at some places down in South Jersey because I want to expand. I had a nice little tour down the Eastern Seaboard that I had to cancel because of the quarantine.
Oh, wow.
So, the thing that I was supposed to do in Philly, they just hit me and they're going to do it. So I think that's going to, I don't know when that's going to be, but it's coming up. I got to get everything back organized. But we're just doing stuff as it comes along and when I can until,
I feel like at this
opening up, so I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, Queen B and I have talked about, just getting our programs back up and running because we were doing things, at least quarterly. We had events, but I'm sitting here like, well, whatever we do, Gail has to be there.
Yes,
like,
definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I'm at this point by tomorrow morning. Trust me, the way I work, I'll have a whole event built, and they'll be like, "B, we put on Eventbrite tomorrow." She'll be like, "Okay." So
she'll be like, "Yeah." She'll be like, brain dump, and I'm like,
I will text her and say brain dump, and she'll be like, "Go ahead." And I will type out everything that's going through my head, the idea from the beginning to the end.
Well, I love that kind of mind.
She'll be like, okay, all right.
Okay, I just go with it.
And I'll be like, yep. And then we're going to have Gail come. And then if Gail open this, we'll do this. And she'll be like, okay, all right. Well, what I got to do? So I'm like, okay. So
I'm down. I'm in.
I'll have a whole event put together.
Yes,
I
love that kind of brain.
I'm so freaking proud of you, like in every area, especially the woman that just works on herself and gets to where she needs to be. And I know that, you still are a work in progress. I know that, there are certain things, but just to see you evolve, just to see that you literally have done the work in my Iyanla Vanzant voice, that you've done the work. I'm super excited to see what you have for us. But you definitely, when we have, and Chanel, knows when we have our Women's Empowerment, I know that you sing, I know that you are an artist, but I just want, even just for you to tell your story. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I would love you in that aspect as well, because I do believe that you will reach a multitude of people, Gail.
Yeah. I believe that's why my life exists.
Mm-hmm.
For my story.
Yes.
I really do. I really do believe that. It's for me to tell my story to women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more to my story than Bloody Waters.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear that aspect of you as well. And I want you to just venture out into that too, just by telling your story and letting us see and letting women see the transparency and the vulnerableness, and each one teach one, right? That's what we need to get back to anyway. So.
Yeah. Thank you so much. To God be the glory. I wasn't always comfortable telling my story and being vulnerable and being transparent. And actually, when I was making Bloody Waters, a lot of the songs I would stop midway while I'm writing a song and say, "Man, I can't write this," because I didn't want anybody to see. I didn't want anybody to know how low, I had sank. Yeah. I wanted to be looked at as she got it all together.
Right.
I didn't want to reveal that. Yeah. But God said you have to. God said you have to. And then when I did, and I saw how many people began to reach out to me and say, "You're singing my story. That's my life." Women I never would have thought. And they were saying, "That's me." And I said, "Oh, I get it. I get it now." It's not about trying to be this super human person.
Yes.
It's about giving us, just really expressing what we're going through and growing through it together.
Yep, together.
Listen, we're coming to the end of we're past the end of our show at this point. But tell everybody how they can find you and find your work.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on, ladies.
We love you.
Always so happy to come
Always a pleasure.
We love you.
I can't wait to come back. And thank you so much. Thank you always for being so supportive. And I will support y'all right back at anything that you're doing. You can find me on Instagram, Gail_Campbell01. You can find me on Facebook, Gail Campbell. My Twitter is Bloody Waters GC. And all of my videos and everything that, I record with Al Jacobs or Armando Out There Diaz, all of that is on YouTube. You can see all of that on YouTube. And thank you so much, y'all. Look out for the new album coming maybe at the end of the year or the beginning of next year.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Listen, again, it's been a complete pleasure. We love you. We're anticipating all of it, everything. And of course, we are definitely going to have you back as soon as everything drops.
Thank you so much. I love you too, ladies.
All right.
Babe, say bye.
Yes. Listen, for everybody who watched today, for everybody who listened today, whether you were on iTunes, TuneIn, YouTube, the BKS1 Radio website, Facebook, whatever outlet you watched or listened today, we love you guys for watching. We thank you so much. God willing, we will be here. Oh, I'm sorry. Next week we won't be here because it will be my birthday. So we do not have a show next week, everybody, because it's my birthday. Thank you so much. But look for us again on June 8th, and God willing, we will be right here, same time, same place, different show, giving you guys some content and some transparency. So we'll see you soon.
We love you guys.
Everybody.
Thanks again, ladies.
Thank you, Gail.
Bye.